What's your favorite spot?
I really like the pool table. The pool table.
I'm not talking about the rec room.
I love the pool
you
table.
know what? I really like the burrito bar down the road. Do a great breakfast burrito. What's happening?
I'm good.
I'm
good.
You're lagging a little bit.
Am I lagging?
Well, just jet lagging a little bit.
I'm all good. Got to LA yesterday. Had a little bit of a hectic flight, but I'm all good.
How was the whole getting accustomed to travel thing when you started to do it? Because it's not something you ever expect to actually affect you the way that it does. And it just, let's be really honest, it does.
Yeah. I mean, I have the worst time, because my ears are really bad on flights. And since doing shows and wearing in-ears, they've gotten even worse. So when I'm on a plane, the pressure is too much and like I cry and like scream, like it's that bad. And then I just get anxious, especially like this time round going to LA. That was my first time flying by myself to,
Coming here just now, yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday was your first ever solo flight.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I cried like so much.
So what was the source of the anxiety?
I just like being with someone. Like I like being with my boyfriend and like, or just even like with my band. And so going, I don't know, because when I travel with someone, I don't really think. I'm just like no thoughts. Like I just follow where everyone's going.
Well, you have the distraction of companionship.
Exactly. And this time around, I'm like, okay, flight number. Okay, BA, like literally, it was tragic.
So when I go up and I check in, do I just give my name?
Oh my God, these are the questions I ask and valid, like so valid. Like, I don't know, it's just, I'm always like, so when do I show I only show my passport once and that's the thing, right?
It all makes total sense because if you just take a look at how this all started for you in the first place, we've covered that ground, but it's an interesting touch point given what we're talking about today. You know, this was all unexpected. And as soon as everyone's like, hey, you're really good at this, we'd like to you to do more of it and we'll help you. So we'll come with you and we'll make it really easy for you. So you just have to do this.
Yeah, just concentrate on the music
Just concentrate on the music part, which is how it should be. But at some point, you gotta grow up.
No, literally. I can't even do my laundry. Like,
no, that's not true. You don't want to do your laundry.
Yeah,
no one can't do their laundry. People don't want to do their laundry.
I mean, don't say that.
Because I'm the same, right? I can do laundry. Right? I just choose not to do it.
I know.
What is it with laundry?
We
like our clothes and yet we don't want to wash them.
I just can't be arsed. I find comfort in the smell sometimes. I hate it.
Oh, and like a bit of a smelly shirt?
Just like my jeans. Like if I wash my jeans, they'll change shape.
That's a very good point. And they actually recommend you shouldn't wash your jeans for a long time because of that fact.
Oh, really?
That's actually like that's a Bill Blass recommendation.
Okay.
That's like a Levi's recommendation. So what's your favorite smell on an item of clothing? I'll tell you mine. When in the summer, when I've put on some suntan lotion or whatever, and then I haven't washed it for a few times, and it smells like the sun. It smells like
holiday.
Oh,
it smells like a holiday.
That smell.
Literally, like when I'm back from holiday and I have all my clothes in the suitcase, and it smells of like
I feel myself
sand
in that.
and sea.
I put it on. I'm like, oh yeah.
Feeling like I'm still in Menorca. Yeah.
Is that your spot, Menorca?
I mean, I just went there recently, so that's why I said it.
You are sun-kissed. I'll give
Thank
you
God,
that.
Thank God for that.
You've got that Balearic shade.
I love that.
I'll say that.
Thank God.
Thanks for coming in. I've been looking forward to having a conversation with you about your music. We've done it in so many different ways and mostly virtual. When we first got to know each other, it was all through that time. Mm-hmm. And then we've gotten to know each other a little bit over time. And here we find ourselves talking about a brand new album, easily your best record. Easily.
Thank you.
And you know it. You know it. Yeah. Because the way you put it together is with such care that it wasn't just like, here's a great collection of songs. And I know you wouldn't be so glib, but I know that it starts with Take a Bite and it ends with this is how it went for a reason. And I know how it flows and I know what you're trying to say as a fan of your music. Like you did it. Like you achieved it, man.
That's awesome. Thank you. That means so much.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about this record. We're going to get into it for a second. And we're going to start with the first kernel of emotion, the first thought, the first feeling, the first sense of like, this is a growth point for me and my music's going to help me achieve that? Do you remember what it was?
In terms of which song?
It could be anything. Just the moment when you're not writing. Oh, you're always writing, but when you're not thinking about what a body of work's going to say and you're like, shit, I've got some work to do here. And I think this song might help me unlock that.
I think there was like a two-year period between like playing shows and a lot of things that have happened in my life that kind of caused me to kind of snap back into reality. It was almost like the pinnacle moment of like, okay, now I need to be a grown-up and now I just can't constantly blame and complain about other people and I need to look at myself much more introspectively. And it was in the middle of tour. It was in the middle of me being quite unhealthy on the road and like unhealthy in general, if I'm being honest. Yeah, and I guess that was the point where I really needed music to kind of help me understand what my brain was going through at the time. And I mean, how to navigate that moment through time, yeah.
Were there moments during that time, as fun as they would have been at times, where you even subconsciously acknowledged, I'm not worshipping at the altar of the thing that got me here. I'm not respecting my music enough. It's a tool for other things.
I think tour was a very big thing for that because I think at times like you're playing shows and you become desensitized to your own music. And the way I write music is every song means a whole lot for me.
Yeah.
And if you constantly play it every night, you like separate yourself from like why you wrote it in the first place. And then it feels like a job, and then you kind of lose like the passion of what you.
Well, then you get separation anxiety. So you separate from the thing that got you there, and so you're somewhere else. So what's here?
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm not there anymore, what do I have here? And what I have here is people.
Yeah.
I have drink.
Yeah.
I can stay up as long as I want.
Exactly.
I'm going on to the next place. Like it's all there to be had, and fun. So can I? And this is a free and comfortable space for you to go as far as or as short as you want. But can we talk a little bit about some of the things that happened in that 2-year period that really woke you up, that got you going?
I just went through a very intense breakup. I think it was the aftermath of the breakup and what happened afterwards that really shifted my brain.
Like hole in the soul breakup.
Yeah. But it wasn't so much the breakup itself. It was like the actions that happened afterwards that hurt me, or the way just people handled it. And then I realized a lot of my life was seen by a load of people, like my music, like my life at home, my relationship. And I can't help that because I post, I don't think when I post, like I just post whatever. And my relationship with the internet, I would like to think has improved since then, but there was a weird like embarrassment or a dependency with that. Like
a validity came from it almost.
Exactly. And on top of that, it was like the constantly being away from home and like not knowing what real life actually was and constantly not being sober. Yeah, so I was in a very strange part of my life.
What a great lesson to learn at a really early stage in your life. And you may have to learn it again too.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, there's something coming. Like...
I mean, of course. And it will. And that's, but the thing is, you've got through it once, you'll get through it again and again, and you'll just keep going. And that's a beautiful thing. Like there's no lesson learned in its entirety in one foul go. So when you came back to music, did it sound different to you?
I didn't really think about the way it sounded. I just was, when you like really badly need to go to the toilet, like that's what it felt like. I like really badly needed to write a song. Yeah. And
when you pick up an instrument and you start to write that song, do you trust your subconscious more, or do you sit there and search for an idea? In that moment, did you search for an idea, or did you just let it happen?
I think all of the songs on the record, I kind of let it happen. That I just had so much to say. What
does it feel like when it's happening like that?
It's really cathartic. It's really therapeutic. Like I needed to get things off my chest. And then when I write music, I never think about how much people are going to listen to it afterwards. Clearly, because some of the songs on this record, This Is How It Went is so fucking brilliant. I mean, it is the ultimate relationship song. It is, don't you think? Yeah. It is. Like, shut the fuck up. I need to go to sleep. Like, it's just... Oh my God, it makes me so anxious, that song.
But it shouldn't. It should make you feel really proud because you've summed up exactly how anybody who's in a relationship worth holding on to feels sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. That moment when you're making it worse because you're singing along. It's such a... Should I not quote you? Is it going to make you really uncomfortable?
No, it's fine. It's the truth, man. I can't be afraid of, that's a very intense thing happened to me, and I needed to write about it, and I got blamed for writing a song about it, and all I needed to do was write a song about it.
Isn't that strange? So, okay, let's talk about that for a second, the concept of blaming somebody for expressing themselves through art, which, by the way, has validity on both sides. Mm-hmm. It has to. You cannot be unaccountable for writing about personal experiences involving other people. Mm-hmm. It's part of the risk and the courage of writing them and releasing them.
I mean, it's art. Yeah.
It's art, but you don't get a shield from art alone. Mm-hmm. You've got to acknowledge that someone's going to feel some kind of way about it.
Exactly.
And I kind of feel like that's what that song is about. Is it's look, I understand it hurts, but equally, I'm just going to go back to writing my songs because, right?
Why don't you do something that's why in the song where I'm just I don't know, go make a movie or something, or
you do you.
Yeah, you do you. Which is.
But how would you have reacted if the movie had been made and it was not a complimentary movie? Would you have had the same grace that you hope others would have for you?
I think it'd be cool. I think it'd honestly be cool if someone made me into a disgusting creature in a film, and I'm in a horror film. I think that'd be pretty badass.
Yeah, but that is badass. That's cool. We all hope for that. I would like to be cast in that film. Yeah. What I'm talking about is when someone writes a film where they take your character that they've fallen out of love with or out of in touch with, and they address those character flaws in a way that is very direct, which is what a lot of songwriting is about, right?
I think it's always important to be honest with your truth, and as much as it would hurt the other person, I feel like there is an understanding there because I create art as well. There needs to be a mutual. I've only been with boyfriends who have created art. Yeah. So I think there should be a mutual understanding there.
Yeah, I agree with that. Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit about some of the other songs on the record, which really open up conversation. I think and I hope I'm not going too deep too quick, but The Man Who Left Too Soon really grabs me.
Mm-hmm. I love that song.
I love that song.
I actually wrote it in LA.
You did?
Yeah.
Didn't you write a lot of it in LA?
You wrote
a lot, and you brought a lot to LA and then played it.
Yeah, but I wrote, that was one of the songs, as well as Coming Home, that I wrote in my hotel room. Yeah.
So what was going on when you wrote that song?
How do I... Well, I guess I just should be super transparent, but I've never really experienced death in family at my conscious age, and I always wondered how that felt like. And meeting my current boyfriend, who unfortunately lost his dad around his 20s, I really got to see how that would feel like and how that would affect someone. And I wanted to write about it, so I can understand what that would mean to other people and what that would mean to him and what that would mean to me.
Yeah, an observational lesson turned to emotion. I love that.
But then there's a hopefulness to it where it's at the end of the day, we're both just looking at the same moon.
I love that line, man. That is such a beautiful image.
Thank you. But do you want to hear the craziest thing?
I want to hear all the crazy things.
So I think before Jake's dad had passed, he was an amazing painter. An amazing painter.
Jake's father was.
Mm-hmm. And I have a lot of his paintings at my house because me and Jake lived together. But before he had passed, he was obsessed with painting moons, and he painted a moon for each of his children. And so when I'd played that song to Jake, and then he kind of sent it to his family without me realizing, they were all very touched and very happy.
Yeah, I love that. It's amazing how energy intertwines, and stories that you didn't understand, or elements and details, nuances that you would never have known somehow meet in this beautiful moment. And I think that's the magic of art. Are you any closer to in fact, you'll never get close. I'll never get close to understanding the magic of art, right? It is a magic though.
Yeah. You don't understand how it makes things make sense. I don't even know if that phrase even makes sense, but
yeah, it does. Yeah. So what was life before it became into your life? Was it confusing for you as a kid?
Oh my God, it was so... I just remember I was with someone at the time who almost looked like he had it all sorted out for him. And so I was there freshly kicked out of school, not getting really good grades.
What'd you get kicked out of school for?
Like, it was a really strange thing because
How old were you at this time?
I was like 17.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an all-girl Catholic school.
Right.
So
it's probably not hard to get kicked out of that.
Exactly.
Right.
Which is like, it's so
bar's pretty fucking high, right, to stay.
Right? Like your skirt's a little short and you're like, all right, you're out.
You're out.
No, it was almost, it was a bunch of girls that got kicked out. And then I would misbehave or I wouldn't get that great of grades. But like, they'd always make jokes about me like smoking in the toilets. Like, oh, you're going to have a cig in the toilets. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, ha ha ha. Like, it was always really chill. So I was like, oh, this is no issue. And then all of a sudden I got kicked out with a bunch of girls. And then I think a lot of dodgy things had happened because they shouldn't have kicked us out.
Right.
And they all called us to come back.
Oh, they gave you a pass.
Yeah, and I was like, no way. Goodbye.
Oh, so you were like, yeah, you fucked that.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck you guys.
Yeah,
I'm
good.
going to this other school. But yeah, that's why I got kicked out.
Yeah. And so it sounds to me, based on what we're talking about, you were searching for something to give you balance. Because school won it.
No.
Grades won it.
Felt like family home was very chaotic. I was just in a very chaotic headspace in general.
Yeah,
I was very lost.
Yeah. What was the moment when you picked up an instrument and it found you?
My dad actually he went home, brought me like a beaten up classical guitar and he was like, you look really depressed. Like maybe play this or something.
I'm going to drop one now. That is just first-rate parenting. That is first-rate parenting. So for anybody who's lucky enough to go ahead and become a parent in their life, you will face the really grim reality of the people that you love the most going through things you can't understand. And your inkling is going to want to try to fix it with words or hugs or all the things that we know what to, right? Give somebody something to do.
Exactly. Because I didn't tell him I wanted a guitar. Like I had interest in music, but I had no interest in making it at all. I was just very confused and lost. I was obsessed with the idea of becoming a nursery teacher, and I still am. But at that time, I was like, maybe that's my calling, like working with children. And I still think it is in some ways. But like when my dad got me that guitar, everything made sense.
What about the first time you picked it up, you played it? Did it feel natural or was it like, no, this is going to be hard?
It felt very strangely natural. But then again, I did play violin for like 7 years.
Right, so you had the finger coordination figured out.
Exactly. And then I just learned very easy songs off YouTube.
Yeah.
Because that's how I learned.
Yeah.
I just typed in like, The Laws. There she goes. It's like 3 chords.
Can you play that?
Yeah, I actually played it really recently.
Can you play that? Because I've always wondered how that riff goes.
Oh no, I don't do the riff. I just strum.
Oh, you just strum.
I strum, girl.
Right.
I'm not the riff person.
There she goes again.
Yeah.
I went too high. I should have gone low.
Yeah, no, it's the bar.
Racing through my veins, and I
song.
just can't. Oh my God, it's
Or like Kiss Me. That's literally so easy, and like the chords are very similar to Coffee. Don't know why. But yeah, that was one of the first songs
There's
I learned.
only so many chords, B. Don't worry about it, right? You got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
And yet there's moments on this record that feel like you've breathed new life into the same chords. Tie My Shoes is such a beautiful song.
Thank you.
You know, we're going to get to girl songs too soon. I can't get there. If a Scene is beautiful. Everything I Want is beautiful. So many moments of beauty on this record. We've heard you thrash, dude. Like, you know, you came out and you were like, all right, I'm going to make a statement here. And if this is what I need to do, I'm going to kick a fucking door in. And the first couple albums felt like that. Beautiful fucking walls of sound. But you found space on this.
Thank you. Yeah.
Why? How?
I really thought about how
Malibu. That's basically it.
Malibu Beach and Shangri-La.
Yeah.
Well, that definitely that influenced a lot. But I think before going into that studio, or like whilst I was writing these songs, I always wondered how I wrote songs right at the beginning of my career. And there was no pressure, and B, I just like I wasn't that. I'm not a crazy guitarist, and I'm not like a trained musician. So whatever I do with my instrument, I never like double think it. I don't think about it too much. I just play it. And I tried thinking about that when I was writing This Is How Tomorrow Moves. Mm-hmm.
Just trying to figure out how to not overthink and not try to, I guess, not even try to sort of actively improve, just be.
Exactly. Like, instead of like finding the craziest, most complicated chord progression, just like a good song, like that There She Goes is like 3 chords.
Beautiful.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't need many chords, you just need a beautiful melody and like things to say.
And you got to find the feeling.
Exactly.
And that's what you've got on every one of these songs is you went and you found the feeling. And, you know, we know you can perform your songs live and in the studio, but there's a lot of feeling on this record, and that requires you to rise to a different place, to go somewhere different, to capture a vocal. There's even the way you sing some of these words and lines in these songs. I haven't heard your voice sound like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like you go to different places. Is that Rick? Did he help you do that?
I honestly think not much of the songwriting of the melodies changed when we were recording it properly.
But the performance?
The performance in some ways, yes, because I think being in a space like Shangri-La and knowing that you're making this record with Rick, it's like, it definitely kind of kicks you in a bit. I'm like, all right, like it's time to like shine, pretty much. Like,
but isn't it the weirdest thing with him where, because I know him and I love him, that he brings this sense of sort of gravitas and real spiritual, it's a tactility. You feel it. You feel the energy. You know you're going to have a moment. You know it's special.
Yeah.
But he's also shoes off, feet up, lie down.
Exactly.
Relax.
Yeah. It's so chill. Like, that's why I think when you're that comfortable, it's like you will be the best version of yourself anyways.
Yeah.
You know?
So I know you've told this story before, so we're going to try and get a slightly different version of it. And I want to start with like, why he even wanted to hear your demos in the first place.
You know what's crazy is that I didn't really play him my demos when we met. There was no conversation about
what was the
making
meeting?
An album. The meeting was I think we just wanted to meet each other. Yeah. It was almost like a therapy session. And like, I think at the end I was like, oh, I've been making some songs. Do you want to hear them? And they were just on my phone.
But you weren't pitching.
No, because the entire meeting was about life and about like just catching up. Like, oh, so he was asking me loads of questions and stuff. And it was nothing about an album. Like, I had plans like making this album in London with Jacob, or just us two again, or like at my house, whatever. And then just a week later after that meeting, his manager hit up my manager and said he wanted to make this album.
What were your feelings about that? Because, and it's a genuine question, because obviously on paper you're jumping up and down going, great, I get to go to Shangri-La and hang out with Rick Rubin. I get a Rick Rubin record, right? Not everybody has a Rick Rubin record. It's a beautiful thing. But at the same time, you've got a great creative collaborator, someone you care about deeply. You've got a rhythm, you've got a flow. Was there any part of you that was anxious of like, what if this doesn't work?
Oh yeah, that's literally what Beaches is all about. I wrote Beaches because of how terrified I was getting into this. I'm the sort of person that values like feeling comfortable and like, you know, loyalty and trusting people around me, not changing a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I would have been an idiot if I had said no. And I remember my boyfriend being like, "Are you crazy? You have to go." And I'm like,
which would suggest you even had a conversation with him that said something along the lines of, "I'm not sure."
Yeah. Oh, 1,000%, dude. I was really like, I'm so used to making music like back at home, like not in like a massive fancy place. But then when you go there, it's not a massive fancy place at all. It's like,
it's big, but
it's very fancy.
No, what it is it's stealth wealth.
Yeah.
It's stealth wealth. What it is, you go there and you would never feel like you're in somewhere that's showing its wealth.
Exactly.
But the land and the history and the way it's taken care
That's
of,
what makes
they paint the floors before every time before you come in, so it feels pristine and
That's
fresh.
why the floors are so thick from all the white paint.
I know the white paint.
It's mental. It's like they just repaint it every time.
What's your favorite place in Shangri-La? What's your favorite spot?
I really like the pool table. The pool table.
I'm not talking about the rec room.
I love the pool table.
You know what? I really like the burrito bar down the road. Do a great breakfast burrito.
Yeah, sorry, that's the British coming at me. My favorite part about Shangri-La.
Just spot. Where did you find the most peace in a place of peace?
Honestly, the live room, dude. The live room is so special. I got so like excited every time. I mean, I was terrified every time I had to play guitar in that room. But then when you like do a vocal in there and like play some guitar, it's always just, yeah, it feels like you're meant to be there.
Did it surprise you how non-heavy this record is? Like California, post, there's moments when, you know, I think fans of what you've done the first few albums will be like, yeah, man, we love it when we have the hard and the soft. That dynamic is a beautiful part of the beabadoobee chemistry. But it just surprised you that the record ended up taking a different shape, or had you written it that way?
I think just naturally, if you look at like my earlier stuff, I'm so used to, like, I'm so comfortable holding an acoustic guitar. Like, that's, even all the rock songs are born from an acoustic guitar. And it just depends how you're going to produce it. I just love writing songs, and it doesn't matter what genre I choose for it to be in. I always find it so, like, what's the word? Like, claustrophobic if I have to stick to one thing. Like, even when I listen to things, I'm like, I go from, like, listening to, like, Title Fight, then like, I don't know, like Will Young.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Mental.
No, it's not at all. No, it's not at all. It's so funny. I actually feel bad for my younger self for being so genre linear. Like, I'm so across the board now that when I was younger, I'd be like, you know, Deftones. And don't get me wrong, I'm still just fucking Deftones for life.
Yeah, straight up.
Streaming opened up my ears in a big, big way. Like, what's been one of your favorite discoveries, even just genre-wise or sound-wise? It doesn't have to be as specific as an album or a song, because that's a hard on-the-spot question. But where have you found yourself really immersing yourself? Like, for me, it's ambient music. Like, I listen to so much ambient music.
Well, for ages, I was only listening to, like, rock for, like, a long time. Though, obviously, like, you know, Elliott Smith and the Beatles. Like,
who gets a name check on this beautifully, by the way.
Yeah, love Elliott.
Yeah.
But that, like, basically shaped my, like, the way I write my music. But then I got really into rock, and then I found, like, Six Underground, that song by...
Yeah, Sneaker Pimps.
Yeah, like Sneaker Pimps. And then I found, like,
shit,
Trip Hop, right? And then, like, Ladyfingers by... what's that band called? Do you know Ladyfingers?
Maybe.
I got ladyfingers, baby.
I know that song. I can't remember that band.
In the future, I'm really interested in trip hop.
You would make a fucking sick trip hop record.
It would be pretty cool.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
So you went from Sneaker Pimps to whatever, Smelly Fingers, and then what else? What else you listened to?
I just got really into trip hop.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you go from like one I like loved. I like grew up listening to like the Cardigans and the Cranberries, and then I found the Sundays, and I found like little branches off that like era of music, and Amy Mann, and then Fiona, and it's pretty cool.
It all wraps up into a beautiful place, and it becomes part of who you become, and then you go ahead and you write Girl Song. And then all those things fall away, if I'm really honest. No, I'm really serious. That song is like all that has come before that has got you to a place as a fan of your music no longer matters. That's like, boom.
Damn, thank you.
You know it. It's a song of, I called it a copyright when I heard it. I mean, it's, shit, man, I know you don't take compliments very well. It doesn't stop me throwing them at you, though. It's kind of fun. I kind of enjoy it. It's kind of like positive bullying. I just want to know, though, tell us what you want to tell us about that song, because I really do think you've summed up, and I know that it's very specific to how you feel and how women feel, and people who look and don't feel like they add up enough to each other and want to find the words to tell themselves.
Yeah.
Tell yourself that's okay. But I think everybody feels that to some degree. And so
everyone.
I just love to know a story or at least just a feeling about that song, because I do think it sits at number 6 for a reason, man. You chucked it right in the middle for a reason.
I think you can argue that Girl Song, out of all the songs on the record, is the most tragic. And I know there's like Tie My Shoes and This Is How It Went, and like The Man Who Left Too Soon. Yeah, exactly. But then like there is always like a sense of hopefulness in that song. And I think with Girl Song, I wrote it because I'm still trying to figure that one out. Like, and that just in terms of like growing up and like loving myself and the way I look and like physical appearance and all that mumbo jumbo. But It sits at number 6 just because I just felt like it was perfect. Like it had to be perfectly in the middle of the record because it didn't suit neither the beginning or the end. It was just how I felt at that moment.
Well, it's a big centerpiece of the whole experience. And I think you're right. I think sandwiched in between anything else would have made it tough for other songs to relate.
Exactly.
And I think Girl Song is such a powerful moment. It just feels, I can't imagine it took long to write.
No, it didn't.
You couldn't have.
Yeah. I think it was the bridge. I struggled with the bridge because I was like, the bridge, it needs to it needs to go somewhere from the bridge. But then as soon as I stepped into Shangri-La, I wrote the bridge to Girl Song. Bridge. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, another bad day. But what a beautiful thing to get out of it.
Yeah.
Have you played it since? Have you rehearsed it?
No. Because I originally wrote it on guitar. And so we're planning on doing the piano version, the version, live. When
it comes time to like the Kimmels and the Nortons and the awards and all the things that people will ask you to do, would you consider singing that song?
1,000%, bro.
So glad you said that. I'll tell you why. I'm not trying to be like overly dramatic because people need that song. And it's hard to find songs now.
Thank you.
It's really hard to find songs. Even with the best of intentions, there's a lot of music and a lot of distractions. Exactly. There's a lot going on in the world, by the way. In case you didn't know, there's a lot going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
And so songs like that need moments like that so that people have the opportunity to know it's there.
No, exactly. Because also if there's 14 songs in the record and 4 very loud singles.
Yeah, you'd fucking crush it. You could do Take a Bite and kill it. But
Girl Song.
Girl Song. Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's your Adele moment.
Stop. But low-key,
I
want an Adele moment.
And it is kind of an Adele moment.
Like, I was, like, speaking to my manager, Chris, and I was like, that era of music of, like, Chasing Pavements and, like, or, like, that song by Duffy where it's like, when I get to Warwick Avenue. Like, I want to do shit like that. Like, fuck it. Like,
don't fuck it, do it.
Yeah. Or, like, Girl Song is almost, like, the introduction to me writing songs like that. Because I wrote a song the other day that was quite similar.
It's also just, I can hear the playing on it. Sorry, everybody, I'm obsessing over the song. But when you hear this song and when she plays it at the award shows and whatever, and then it becomes a number one song and it becomes the song and then beabadoobee's like, everyone's like, beabadoobee's. So, but the reason I'm obsessed about this song is because it's not just that you captured the feeling so beautifully and it will reach people who feel that way all the time. By the way, there is 1 billion people in the world right now who feel like that right now.
No, 100%.
That's how you know it's a 1. But the piano playing and everything that came along with it. You wrote it on guitar. Who played it on piano?
This guy called Benny. He played piano on the record. He's amazing. And he looks exactly like Joaquin Phoenix.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's
distracting, I'd imagine, while he's recording.
No, mostly just like, are you Joaquin Phoenix? Is Joaquin Phoenix playing piano for me right now? It was uncanny. I was like, are you related to him? But he's an amazing piano player. Yeah. Insane.
So you like it here in LA, huh? I can tell.
Yes. I like it too. Like, it's like love and hate.
What's the hate part? When you're not home, obviously.
Yeah, then I'm not. My cats aren't here.
Yeah. How many cats now?
I have 2 cats.
So you got, was it Chauncey? No. Chauncey? No, what was his name? Charlie? What's he?
Kimchi.
Kimchi, thank you. I was getting there. I met the cat once. Cut me some slack.
Kimchi and miso.
I'm sorry, I don't have a fucking
I will
photo
tell
memory.
Kimchi.
Oh no, Kimchi. I remember the Poirot.
I know the
It's
mustache.
got the mustache, right? Can you look at Kimchi the same now, without wondering whether or not it's going to ask you for evidence?
Oh no. Oh, I miss him. But yeah, I think that's the only. Like, that's the one thing, like, being away from my mates. But, like, the weather's amazing here.
Pretty good.
And right now, England is dismal. Yeah.
Really? In the summer?
Oh, my... Yes, you'd think summer is usually great.
It's having a bad time?
But it's been having a very tragic time. Like, tragic.
Not a lot of fun.
No.
So, this is it for you. You're making records and you're going to keep making records. Are things starting to awaken within you now that you know music it's beautiful. You can make it and do it and it's yours. But life is full of other curiosities. And you talked about obviously an early ambition as a younger person to want to be a nursery teacher, which is such a cool occupation. I mean, to go and nurture kids the right way and to give them, to just enable their imaginations and keep them safe and keep them secure and happy to grow. What other curiosities do you have, B, outside of music? What really gets you excited and interested, from the smallest, stupidest thing to the widest possibility?
I've always been told that I am like obsessed with taking care of little things, like whether it's like little children or like cats or any animal. Like I am obsessed with animals. Yeah. And I actually got my chart read at Shangri-La, and then Patricia San, that was her name. She said that any confusion that you have in your life will go away as soon as you have a baby.
Wow. So that's a real purpose in that. There's a purpose in that. Yeah, it's amazing.
And I keep thinking about like, wow, imagine like not to, like this is so classic like musician, but like imagine the songs I'm gonna write when I'm pregnant.
It's true though. It does. Oh man, and this is where I've got to really curb myself from kind of inserting myself too much in the conversation as a parent of 18 years. We're an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old, two brilliant boys, man. And my wife and I, we're very, very lucky and very proud of both of them. And it's a whole other journey and a lot of work that has to get done.
Oh yeah.
A whole lot of other work has to get done.
So you go through the puberty side, which I'm
There's all of that. But there's also, you got to kind of do your own work as well, even though you sound like you're pretty ready to kind of nurture and do that.
Not right now.
Not now, but I mean, you have the architecture in you, right? It's in your nature. But it is an incredibly inspiring thing. And I think the music will flow.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I just want to have a really nice family and a nice time.
Was music a part of your upbringing in your house? Did it get played?
Yeah, my mom is so badass. She showed me like the best bands ever growing up.
What's her shit?
I mean, she listens to everything, but her personal favorite is obviously like Madonna, Boy George. She showed me
George Michael.
Yeah, and a classic. But she showed me like Oasis, Blur, like Nirvana, the
Pumpkins.
Cardigans. Yeah, literally, like everyone. And but she'd only she'd be on YouTube and then just like randomly she's like, "Come here." And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Look at this." And then like put in like Smells Like Teen Spirit. And I just remember being like 7 and like, this looks satanic.
Yeah. Kids are smashing things and it's like, what is that lighting?
I was terrified when she showed it to me. But she'd always, she was great.
What song reminds you of her?
If I'm speaking from my album and if I could give her a song, I think what she'd like the most would probably be like Everything I Want. I think she'd really love Everything I Want. It kind of has that Corinne Bailey Ray feel, so I think she'd love that.
I love that song as well, and I think it's nice to hear a love song being presented in a very unobstructed way.
Yeah.
Right? Because often I think it's hard to write pure love songs without thinking, where's the twist in the tale?
Exactly. It's just in your face and straight up, just about you falling in love with this person. I think that's the beauty of it.
The album is called This Is How Tomorrow Moves. What's the title about?
Okay, should I tell you like the really random funny bit of it, or should I tell you like what it actually means to me?
Can you not do both?
I'll do both.
Which
should I do first?
Can you mix it?
I can't mix it because they're so completely different.
Okay, start with I don't know.
Okay, I'll start with the one where like what I think it means to me.
I'm in your brain and I don't like it. I want to get out. I want to get out.
Well, okay. So this is how tomorrow moves to me. There was something about the word moves that's so like physical. It's like I had to write all those songs to be able to move on from everything that I was going through that time, to like move on to tomorrow, to like be able, like I had to pass through this time.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the title means to me. but the actual title itself. So like me and
as in this is how tomorrow actually starts to move.
Yeah.
As I gotta
sit
here and go through this.
Yeah. I have to say all this shit.
I never ever put it in that context when I looked at the title. And it actually makes me think of the concept of tomorrow completely differently. That tomorrow can't move, can't even move. I love
Unless you like, yeah.
Thank you, I love that. All right, random.
And then the random one is, okay, so like me and my band have this thing when we're on tour and like we'd see something like that we'd pass by and we'd list it down if it sounds like an emo name.
Oh,
so
great,
like,
I love this game.
Yeah. So like Chinese restaurant could be an emo band.
I don't think it's a great emo band name.
It's not, but it could be.
Yeah, bad.
Do you know
one.
what I mean? Yeah.
It's
quite tragic.
Quite Tragic is a great emo band name. Quite Tragic is fucking. What's up? We're Quite Tragic. What?
And he just kept going then. That was pretty legit.
Thanks.
You're like, thanks. And then we saw a building that said, "This is how tomorrow moves." And I was like, that sounds like it could be.
That's a fucking great emo band
Do you
name.
know what I mean?
This is how tomorrow moves.
Like it could be like some crazy
Holy
Midwest shit. Like, or even like
3 p.m. on the Warped Tour.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Do you know that band from Tokyo called By the End of Summer?
Yes.
They're amazing.
Great band.
I know, but it's like the same sort of vibe.
Hey, all crazy kids out there, don't forget there's merch tables. And stay hydrated. It's 105 out here in Arizona. Thanks for coming to the Warped Tour. That could have been you.
Yeah, it could have been me.
Literally could have been you. If you hadn't discovered the Sundays, would have been a very different story.
If we didn't listen to Elliot Smith.
What's up with beabadoobee? Touring exciting you? You excited about?
I'm so... And
You're
this
so
time,
good live, by the way. I saw you at Camp Flognor last year. And the way that you came out on that stage, not an easy stage, it's a Tyler stage.
No.
It's a Tyler stage, and he's so gracious, and he wants everyone to win.
Yeah.
But it's a golf crowd, man.
Exactly.
It's an Odd Future crowd. It's a Tyler crowd, right?
It's scary.
So, but you came out, man, and you were just so charming, and you sang so brilliantly in the band. I know it sounds weird giving you a compliment for something you do every night, but it's a tough gig that, and you smashed it. I thought.
Thank you. I actually wasn't. I was like in a weird headspace that day, I remember, so I was scared that...
you looked a little tranked, but it was still awesome.
Yeah, you look confused half the time, to be honest. No, yeah, well, thank you. I love playing live. I think I've always, as I said earlier, I used to struggle with tour a lot. But I found the hack where it's like, you have to treat it like a marathon. It's basically like a sport, and you have to do it sober, and you have to... like.
So you don't drink on the road?
No, not at all.
Did you miss it?
Not really.
Yeah.
No. Which was surprising. I like started doing ballet and training, and I think that's really like helped my stamina a lot.
Yeah.
When I play shows.
Yeah, I get it. Look, I mean, we all get to a point where we have to temper the things that we think we enjoy that our body don't enjoy.
Yeah. Or you've just done it enough and you're like, I need to chill the fuck out.
Yeah. So, because a lot of time on the road is spent doing that, which basically means you don't leave the venue till later because everyone's drinking backstage, and then you end up at the hotel, and then you go to bars and blah, 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 blah. So what do you do with the rest of your time when you're on the road?
I don't know. I'm trying to think what I did this tour. I think I hung out with the band a lot and just chilled. I think me and Jacob were like making some demos on the road a lot. Me and my bassist thought about like taking like a bracelet making kit, and so we could just like make bracelets the entire time. And we were like, maybe we could like start like a side hustle and like sell them by the line.
Yeah, merch it.
Exactly.
That's fucking cool. There's so much you can do with all that time.
Exactly. Like there's so much. But yeah.
I'm really excited about the show at the Greek, and it's just the beginning. I can't wait for the bowl.
Damn. Yeah.
You know what's happening.
I mean, that'd be cool.
It's already happening. You just haven't caught up to it yet. And this is your best record. And
thank you.
I hope we speak again. I'm looking forward to it when we do. And I really enjoyed talking with you about this album and just getting to know you a little bit better through life and stuff.
Same here. Thank you.